Welcome everyone to the Purr Play Sip podcast. I'm Chuck Patton, proprietor of Purrfect Day Cafe. This is Rosemary. This is Robert.
Tilapia.
Mm-hmm. And who's our baby? Bridgerton.
Bridget. Although that would be good.
And this is Bridget. And we are the leadership team from the leadership team of Purrfect Day Cafe. And we want to welcome you all. We actually have Facebook Live going on right now. So many of you guys have seen us. You're following our morning things, and no, we are not introducing cats today. However, we're just going to kind of have fun, kind of a casual conversation. Today's podcast is all about question and answers. Cat cafes can be such a unique concept. People come in here, they have predispositions. Can I bring my cat in? Do I have hair everywhere where I have my food? And all that fun kind of stuff. So we reached out to you and we asked if you had any questions in full transparency for what it is that we do here. And we try to maintain that at all time. But we have lots of questions that you all have. And in the meanwhile, we've got Robert texting. I tell him all the time not to text when he's working.
Unprofessional.
So Robert is following us on the channel in here as well too.
So Jim Spillman is watching. He's one of our volunteers.
There you go. And so this is one of those opportunities for you guys to ask some questions. Now that we've been around 3.5 years, it's going to be 4 years in August. So as I watch my Facebook, I see all these memories come up of, when the place was being plowed and we were panicking and how the heck is this even going to work, and trying to find a manual on how to start a cat cafe, which by the way, those are out there now. I don't know if you've seen those. But anyway, yeah, that's what we're here to do, is just kind of answer some of the questions that are more commonly in here and some of the ones that you have posed to us. So this is what we're going to be calling the Purr Play Podcast Adults. And there's also, because we've got so many questions from kids, and they are so funny.
And cute.
And we'll get more. So we thought to ourselves, well, how cute would this be if we only answered the questions that the kids answered, and we are not going to decipher them at all, right? Like straight on, this is what this child said. And everybody knows that this cafe and our one in Covington as well too, we're very kid friendly. So with that, we better get started on here. And Robert, why don't we start up with you as well first?
Uh-oh, pressure.
Where do the cats go at night? 30 seconds.
I actually have a secret lair. No, not really. So actually, the cats stay here until they get adopted, which is usually only 2 or 3 days. So at night, they don't go anywhere special. It's not like they go back to the shelter. We are very cage-free here, free roam cats. So they just stay here. They usually party all night long. We can see them on the camera, and they leave a big mess for us to clean up in the morning. But yeah, they don't go anywhere. Yeah, but they get their privacy. Yeah, we put the blinds up so no one hassles them in the night. And, don't tap on the glass, just like at the zoo.
And we add to that as well, too. That's part of our socialization process. We're very, very succinct about the different parts on areas where we feel like help these cats in order to be able to adjust to a new home. So being around other cats, it's going to make them very susceptible to have a high success rate going into another home because they're likely to have a cat. So, all right, next one is up here. Rosemary, what's upstairs?
What's upstairs? So much laundry is upstairs. Oops, sorry, I gotta pull this over here. And by the way, file a question. We want to see your questions.
Yes, I'm watching all of you.
So all of you who talk about how cute kitties are on our Facebook Live, now's your chance. Ask a question. So what's upstairs? So upstairs right above us, well, I guess technically not right above us, but above and back is our loft space. So in our loft space right now, we have a shy bonded pair because they would not do well down here. So they are named Crash and Bernie Mac, and they are upstairs. We can open up that door if we have a lot of adult kitties so that they can get away a little bit, because it can get a little bit crazy busy around here, and we all need a little privacy every now and then with our adult kitties. And then right above me is our inventory room, our freezer space, our tons and tons of fresh fluff because we do so much laundry. We also have a couple of condos. I hear a litter box being used behind me.
Some up there.
So we also have 2 condos up there. So if we have a kitty that's feeling stressed, or perhaps a kitty that is having some upper respiratory early symptoms, we try to put them up there. If they need to be, I hate to use the word quarantined, but if they need some privacy and a more confined space with litter, they have litter, food, treats, toys, everything they need, and that way they're in a quiet place up there. And then we also have our washer dryer, and then the most special place up there is our nursery and fostering center. And to my knowledge, I think we're still the only cat cafe in the nation with one, right?
I think so, yeah. I haven't heard anybody copy that
And
concept.
it's a really special thing. So right now we have a senior mother-daughter, 17 and 15 years old, that were owner surrenders. And it's very quiet. It's very private. We don't allow small children up there because they tend to be kitties that are very, very stressed out. And so that is a really special place where we can have kitties that are maybe getting better from an amputation, or they just need a little more quiet time before we introduce them to the room. So it's a lot of space upstairs in our big old 1910 building, and we utilize it really, really well. So
We also have the human loft.
yes, the human loft is upstairs. That's where we have our parties, our trivia nights. This past weekend, we just had people go up there, have a glass of wine, hang out, use our Wi-Fi. And so, yeah, paint class, all kinds of great things up in that. And that is also a common area. If we don't have a private event going on, people can just hang out there as well. So lots of space. We use every inch of this space. Yes, we do.
And if you're at our Covington location, again, we're unique in both locations, but that one, basically, we did not have all that stuff, and we have a much, much larger cat room in there, which allows us to bring in more cats, and then, of course, it was good during COVID as well. So, all right, the next question is the TV show based off of you guys?
You should talk about that.
I did. Yeah, that's why I picked that one. So it was funny because we had media calling all the time, and I had not heard of Call Me Cat, but there was a press release about it. It had not yet gone into syndication, and I've got the press asking me, hey, wait a minute, what's going on with this? But it is literally about a woman who starts a cat cafe after quitting her job at the University of Louisville in order to start a cat cafe in the Highlands. So I could see where that was very noteworthy as people looking at that. So no, it is not specifically about us. To give you guys the background on that, they had a couple of Louisville area writers that were in there. So it was actually going to be based either here or Southern California, and they decided to make it here, and they asked the cast, hey, is that okay? We could always have it, they're like, no, I think that's a good idea. Somewhere in middle America would be fun. And then, of course, we heard about this and all that fun kind of stuff. We have communicated back and forth with them. Hint, hint, we've even sent them some of our apparel and potentially having it on the show or some of that other stuff.
And they sent us something.
And they sent us some gift packets and some nice messages. So no, it is not based off of us, but certainly the concept of a cat cafe was quirky and different, but yet mainstreamed. Maybe they wouldn't have done this show 3 years ago when there was only 50 of them when we started versus now, last I saw 141.
And it's funny you mentioned that because we had somebody come in yesterday who had seen the show, actually, and said, oh, this is really different in here than I thought it was going to be based on what I've seen.
Right.
For instance, the cats aren't out there, they're in here. We do a ton of adoptions, no offense to that, because we know the plot line's not really about cat adoptions.
No,
we get that. Second season actually is quite enjoyable. I'm really liking the second season. And so he said, based on everything I had heard about, he goes, oh my goodness, this place is amazing. He goes, I don't really know what I thought it was going to be, but man, this is great. And he's definitely coming back. He's going to bring his date back soon. So there you go.
Yay. All right, Robert, I'm going to give you this one. This one's kind of a standard. Can we take snacks and drinks in with us? And I'd even like to fold into that if you'll mention something about birthday cakes.
Sure.
I love
we get
birthday
that
cake.
we get that every once in a while. But somebody wants to hold this full-fledged birthday inside of here. So
Okay, so I'll do the birthday cake first. So
Okay.
if you have a private event, you are of course welcome to bring your own food for that event. Pizza, cake, we go over all that with the contract that you've signed to have your party here. Rosemary will go over all that with you. We do that a lot during kitten season. Otherwise, we don't necessarily want you to bring your own food because we'd like you to have our food. But as far as the food and drinks going in the cat room, so we do allow you to bring your drink in with you. We do discourage you from letting the cats have alcohol because they're not old enough. Food doesn't come in with you because the cats will try to eat it and some of it will be harmful to them, so we just don't bring food in here. The one caveat is, according to the health department, the drinks should not come back out of the room. That's a cross-contamination thing, so we do ask that you finish your drink while you are visiting with the cats. And yes, we'll make you chug at the end. No, we won't really.
And I think that's one of the things as well, too, to point out to folks. We have plastic cups here. And the reason why everything is done in plastic and things is because it must be thrown away. So somebody say, why don't we have glass? We don't know whether or not you are staying out there, which some people do choose to just get out there and have a drink, or whether or not you're coming in here. So it's just a safe bet to make sure that we do have plastic in here and that you can enjoy. And a lot of the parts about the birthday cake, and it is very, very common, we can't let, cake come in and then cupcakes and then present. Before you know it, you've taken up 75% of the cafe with 15 guests. And it's just not fair to the other folks. If you do a private party at either one of our locations, we have a separate space for that to move you away, to make sure that it's private, and then allow you to decorate. We allow you to bring whatever you want in, but got to make it fair for the fair for them. So.
One other thing as far as the glass goes, I don't know about you all, but I have cats at home, and I rarely use glass because they'll knock it over.
Yeah.
And then they break. So that's another reason we don't have glass, but you wanted to say.
Oh, and you were talking about parties, Chuck. One thing, because we get asked a lot about parties. We have started doing where you have to be 10 or up to have parties during adult cat season. And you know what? You can celebrate your birthday anytime, right?
Yep.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
And then we will start lowering that age to, any age, but usually 4 is the youngest that we host during kitten season, which starts mid-June. So we've just been getting a lot of questions about that. And the reason is because adult cats tend not to be quite entertained by a group of 15, 6-year-olds, right? We
Yeah.
love 15, 6-year-olds, but a 5-year-old cat doesn't tend to love that so much. And we want you all to have the best experience. You're paying for your party, you want to have a great time, you want to be able to socialize the kitties. So that's why we just started doing that rule this year. So.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Robert, do we need to print out an email for our reservations?
No, please save the trees. No,
Yes.
we do not need you to print it out. We have it all on our Bookio system, so even if you don't have a printer, we don't even need your email proof. If you booked, we have you. Now, if you
And
didn't,
paid and received confirmation.
yes, make sure that you go through all the steps and it sends you a receipt, because if it didn't, that means it didn't go through. And then people show up and they're like, I have a reservation. Do you though? Because we don't see you. So yes, no need to print anything. We don't even print receipts here. We all digital. Save the trees.
And I'm probably saving Robert some time here as well, too. If you need to cancel or reschedule prior to 24 hours
Yeah.
of your visitation, you can just go down to the little button there that says change reservation.
Yeah.
Change whatever time that is and
Save
opening.
your confirmation email, and
Yeah.
you can just do it very easily.
Yep. Or worst case scenario, you can always message us and let us know. But we're saving us a lot of time here.
I'm happy to help you if you're not tech savvy, because I get it. I'm not either.
Yeah. So I'll take one of these. I forgot. It was actually my turn. Can I bring my dog in to meet the kitties
Or your
before I
cat.
come in? Or your cat, yeah. So we get where that's coming from. This is a 20-year decision. It's one of the reasons why we allow children in, is because, there it goes.
There's the spiciness.
And it's one of the reasons why we let the children come in, because they're going to be a big part of this relationship for a very long time. We understand that might be in a perfect world, you could let them meet, but it's just not feasible. Number one, we need to keep them separated. All the kitties within here have strict protocols in regards to their health, including this environment, anywhere from the food to the litter. I mean, everything is meticulously monitored to make sure that we're doing everything we can to control, you can't control everything, to keep them healthy. And of course, there are situations where a cat might have sniffles if you brought them in, a dog might have sniffles. Keep in mind, that's just, and to bring a dog in here, here's the fun thing is, we've had people ask if they could bring their butterfly in.
That was the weirdest.
And bring their bird in here. I'm like, you are going to bring a bird into a cat room? Like,
they're not going to live. It's going to be brutal. No.
So anyway, but the moral of the story is no. That's if you've been here, you may have seen us turn away people when they say, "Oh, I thought this was like a dog park and I could bring my cat." No, and that's not what we want to do. We also don't want to introduce situations that set up our cats for failure. So should they decide they were squabble because it's somebody that is new and get bit, and of course in today's litigious society, that would not be a good idea.
Yeah, no, we don't want that.
Yeah. So
now
anyway.
Steve and Goody and Melanie Austin are watching. I think it only tells people that I'm friends with on Facebook.
Oh.
There are more people, but those two people I actually know.
All right. Well, I think the only one that we had down here.
I have one.
Oh, you do? Okay. Well, what is that?
So, hold on. I was forgetting mine. I actually got this question 3 times this past week.
Okay.
And you can talk about it certainly, or Robert or whoever. But how do you know that an adopter is a good choice, or how do you approve the adopters? And a lot of people, because they're curious, because they think somebody came in yesterday and said, "Oh, so you just come in and I can just adopt?"
Yeah.
And so, if you want to explain that, you can also talk about Covington too.
Yeah.
Because it is a
absolutely.
very meticulous process.
Yeah. In the back of each location, there's an obstacle course. So
Like a tough mutter, but with kitty litter,
Tough
right?
Mudder obstacle course. That's it. With scoops, you have to run with scoops at all times. No, as far as approving the people, it's one of the things that I like, again, about a Cat Cafe process. Remember, we get to meet you here. We get to hear your questions that you have. We get to watch you with the cats and give you some advice on trying to do that, which, by the way, we're going to be running that podcast here really soon, how to choose your kitty. We're not going to tell you which one to choose and all that good kind of stuff. And I'm always coaching the team, like, please don't go in there and say, this cat is my favorite, please adopt it. Everybody has their own preference, and it doesn't matter if it's more of a shy kitty or if it's one that's just hyper as anything. But what we do is, when you come in here, you're going to have an application. That application asks you several different questions. Going through there allows us to get to know you, and you get to know us. While we're in here, we're also answering whatever questions that you might have, finding the personality, and then, of course, I'm going to let you finish it up on it a little bit as well, too. So any more of the process?
Right. So, because I know we're on a time frame here. So the big thing is you have to present a valid photo ID. We need your pet history. We need to make sure that your landlord has approved, or if you own a home, make sure your home is secure. We need to know about where the kitty is going to be. And we also have some questions about if anybody in the house has allergies, if there are children in the home, if there are other pets in the home. And then we do have a system where we work with the Kentucky Humane Society, and we do look up each and every applicant. They do have to be 18 or older. And we actually go through, using your identification, we go through our system. It's called Pet Point, and we run through our system, and we just check for things, whether there are some red flags, and it does happen from time to time where someone might be what we call a do not adopt. We'll get into that later.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hate to use it, but we vet them out. We vet out our adopters, and we make sure that they're ready to go. And if there are any kind of issues, our team is so good, and I know they are in Covington as well, about educating our adopters, informing them so that when they leave, they feel really confident about the decision. So, and we'll get into that when we talk about your kitty choosing you and you choosing your kitty. But we are really careful about who adopts.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a hairball. Hopefully it won't be on mochi.
Yeah, so hopefully these have been valuable to you all as you go through there. Thanks everybody on Facebook for following us. Guys, you'd be amazed at how many people actually eventually watch these. We are here, our whole team is here in order to answer whatever questions you guys might have. We are completely transparent about how this operation works, and I think we feel very confident about it as well too. It's not that everybody is going to do things perfectly, and quite frankly, not every person is perfect for the Cat Cafe. But I will tell you guys, we're going to have some more podcasts coming up. Robert's going to be doing a podcast from KHS.
Well, I don't know when we'll post it, but it's being filmed this
That's going to be posted very soon. Another upcoming podcast is Robert's going to be doing a podcast from his home where he is a super foster. So basically fosters 300 throughout the whole year. Right. So, and he's an amazing supporter of that, and he wants to show you what that's like, and hopefully we have some more of those. And of course, we're going to have this same Q&A session, but more related to kids. So if you want to help out a little bit more, you're watching Facebook in here, do us a favor, and hopefully we'll be able to provide the link there. Subscribe to our YouTube channels. We do other things that aren't on the live. I do a live once a week now is what I'm trying to do in regards to releasing the kitties. And then we're trying to cover subject matters that are about how to impact your community specific to these homeless animals, not just cats, talking about shelters and then talking about adopting, of course. That's kind of our identity. And speaking of which, 6,016 adoptions here in Louisville, Kentucky, as of today, which is March 28th. And we are at 1,021 in Covington. That is a total number of over 7,000 adoptions being in existence for 3.5 years, Covington for 1.5 years. So we're very proud of those numbers. We're proud of our community. So you can still help us. We're always trying to communicate out how you can be a part of this without having or being in the market to adopt at this particular point. So please click subscribe, go to our YouTube channel, Per Play Sip, share it with your friends, and we're excited to have you through here. A lot of stuff coming up at both locations, kitten showers coming, and so are the kittens right behind it. So we appreciate everything you all do. Thank you so much, and have a perfect day.